Okay, so yesterday we have discussed about the types of circulation. So today we'll discuss about the wall of heart, and after wall of heart only we'll be able to discuss about the conducting system and the cardiac cycle. So wall of heart, the heart wall is made up of three main layers. Okay, the heart wall, the heart wall is made up of three main layers. First of all, I will write the innermost one. Okay, the innermost one is called as the endocardium. The innermost one is called as the endocardium, and this endocardium is made up of, it is made up of simple squamous epithelium. It is made up of simple squamous epithelium. I have given the detailed discussion of the simple squamous epithelium. Simple means the cells are arranged to form a single layer. Squamous means the type of the cell which is present in that simple layer is flat, and epithelial cell, it is always present in the inner lining or in the outer lining. So this endocardium layer, it is made up of simple squamous epithelium. The next layer, it will be the myocardium layer. Myocardium layer. So you all know that the word myo means muscles. You have got this myo word in the wall of uterus also. As you know that uterus wall is made up of three layers. The outer layer is called as the perimetrium, the middle layer is called as the myometrium, and the inner layer of the uterus is called as the endometrium, which undergoes the cyclical changes. So the middle layer of the uterus, that is the this myometrium, it generally contracts during parturition, and you know which hormone is responsible for it. Which hormone? Yes, oxytocin or pitocin, which is generally released from the posterior pituitary gland. So this myocardium layer of the heart wall is made up of specialized cardiac muscle. It is made up of specialized cardiac muscle. Specialized cardiac muscle. And this specialized cardiac muscle, the cells that will be present in this cardiac muscle, the cells are having gap junction in it. The cells are having gap junctions in it. Gap junctions. That means there can be some flow of ions, or there can be flow of some substances between the two cells of that will be present in the myocardium layer, and you will get to know the significance of these gap junctions while discussing the conducting system, because these gap junctions, it helps in the inflow of the substances or inflow of ions, which helps in the this generation of impulse. Okay, so you will know the significance of gap junctions presence in the cells of the myocardium. Now, and it is made up of specialized cardiac muscle, and you all know that the cardiac muscles is only present in the heart, right? And now we'll discuss about the last layer, that is the outermost layer of the heart wall, that is called as the epicardium. So this outermost layer of the heart wall, that is the epicardium, is made up of again two layers. The outermost layer is again made up of two layers. The outer wall of the epicardium is called as the outer wall of the epicardium is called as fibrous pericardium. It's called as fibrous pericardium. So this fibrous pericardium is nothing but it is the outermost layer of the epicardium. So I have written O. O means outermost. And the inner wall of the epicardium is called as the serous pericardium. Serous pericardium. So while discussing the salivary glands, I told about the parotid gland, and I told that parotid gland is made up of some serous cells. That means it made some secretion, right? And I think you can remember that the parotid gland, it is the largest salivary gland, and it will be releasing the secretion like salivary amylase, which is also known as the ptyalin and all, right? So I mean to say that this serous pericardium means it will be making some secretion, and this serous pericardium is the innermost layer, okay, of the epicardium, right? And in between this this serous pericardium, it is again has two sublayers. The serous pericardium, it is again has two sublayers. The outermost layer of the serous pericardium is called as the parietal pericardium. Parietal pericardium. And the innermost layer of the serous pericardium is called as visceral pericardium. Visceral pericardium. Okay, so now I will be drawing this all these layers of the heart wall in a schematic diagram, and then you will be able to know the arrangement of this endocardium, myocardium, and epicardium. So first of all, I will draw the endocardium, that is the innermost layer. So this is the innermost layer, endocardium, that will be present in the heart wall. So this is the endocardium. So you can see that the cells are flat. Flat means they are squamous cells. The cells are flat, right? And so this is it is made up of simple squamous epithelium, and this is the endocardium layer. Endocardium. Just next to the endocardium, there is the thickest layer of the heart wall, and the thickest layer of the heart wall is nothing but it is the myocardium. So this is the myocardium, is the thickest layer of the heart wall. Myocardium, it is the thickest layer of the heart wall. Myocardium. So here I am drawing the myocardium, and the cells that will be present in the myocardium will be having some junctions, and those junctions that will be present between two cells will help in the this inflow of some ions, which helps in the generation of impulse. You will get to know all these things. So this is the thickest layer, and this is the myocardium. Myocardium, and it is made up of specialized cardiac muscle. The next layer that will be present is the epicardium, and as I told that epicardium is having two layers. One is called as the serous pericardium, and the other is called as the fibrous pericardium. Serous pericardium is present in the innermost layer, and the serous pericardium is again made up of two sublayers. The innermost is the visceral pericardium, and the outermost is the parietal pericardium. So visceral pericardium will be present here. So this is the visceral pericardium. So this is the visceral pericardium, and say for example this is the parietal pericardium. Say for example this is the parietal pericardium. Sorry. Say for example this is the parietal pericardium. So you can see that between the visceral and between the parietal pericardium there is a gap. So this is the visceral pericardium. Visceral pericardium. And this is the parietal pericardium. So between the visceral and the parietal pericardium, you can see that there is a gap, and this gap that will be present, between visceral and parietal pericardium, this gap will be filled with a fluid, and this fluid is nothing but it is called as the pericardial fluid. Pericardial fluid, and pericardial fluid is secreted by the serous pericardium layer, right? So this visceral and pericardial parietal pericardium both are forming the serous pericardium. Both are forming the serous pericardium, and the last layer, that is the outermost layer, this is the fibrous pericardium. It is just for protection. It is the outermost layer. This outermost layer is the it is nothing but this is the fibrous pericardium, and it is just for protection. So there are some significance of this pericardial fluid. So what are the significance of pericardial fluid? The importance of pericardial fluid is that it acts as lubricant. It acts as a lubricant. And the second significance, or the second function of the pericardial fluid, is that it protects the heart. It protects the heart from mechanical shocks. So this is all about the wall of the heart. Hope you have understood, and if there is any sort of doubt, please mention it in the comment box. Thank you.